people remember this story. Police claim that a Florida woman, Dippolito, tried to hire an undercover hitman to kill her husband. Authorities said it was all on tape. They had it. Police video emerges. Look here.
Miss Dippolito? I'm Sergeant Ramsey. I'm the one that called you. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to call you. Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, man. He's been killed. He's been killed, man. I'm sorry. Listen, try to calm down. Right now, we need to get you to the police station. I can't let you in, man. We have to do our job. You want to find his killer, okay?
That was all fake. That was staged, a sting operation, so to speak. Dippolito was convicted on charges. She tried to hire a hitman in 2011. Conviction overturned on appeal. Prosecutors decided to retry the case. And this week, the jury deadlocks, a mistrial split right down the middle. Her attorney, Brian Claypool, emotional outside the court. Here he is.
I've gotten to know Miss Dippolito and her family over the past couple years, and our spiritual faith and bond has gotten us through this case, because when I arrived here from California, I can count on one finger the number of people in this country who felt we even had a chance in this case.
Brian Claypool joins us now. Brian, take us back to that moment. You're obviously getting emotional as you're speaking to the press. How were you feeling at that time when you heard the word mistrial?
Yeah. Well, Susan, it was a mixed reaction initially, because we've been in this to win it the whole time. We weren't looking for a consolation prize in this case. We wanted a not guilty verdict. With that said, though, the big turning point for us to help us feel validated in this case, Susan, was when we polled the jury. We were not afraid. And by the way, that's pretty unprecedented when a defendant asks the judge to poll the jury. We wanted to know what the vote was. When we found out it was 3-3, that's what developed a lot of that emotion that you saw at that press conference. I really, truly felt like my co-counsel Greg Rosenfeld and I were up against the world. We went down into their home territory, Susan. Make no mistake about it. That community knew about that first trial. They knew she was convicted. We interviewed 220 jurors. Almost 50 of those jurors we interviewed not only knew about the case, Susan, but they had a preconceived notion that she was guilty. So you saw the end of that rope. I was like, wow, we really did some big things here to get our message out.
Yeah, Brian, not only did that community know about the case, a lot of people did, getting a lot of attention. How do you explain away, though, when people see this story and they hear both sides, and you see her speaking to what turns out to be an informant, saying, I'm 5,000% sure that I want my husband dead? How do you explain that away? That was the core of the trial. You're hitting on the biggest point in the trial. Our job, and it was a daunting task, was we had to provide a proper context for those videotapes that you've seen. By the way, the video you just showed, that was shown to the jury in the case. There were 2 other videotapes, undercover videos, but I had to tell this jury that you can't just look at those videos in a vacuum. You have to have a context. What I mean by that, Susan, is that the key fact in this case, I think, the turning point in this case was the first phone call by the confidential informant to the police department. He reported this as a domestic abuse claim, that Dahlia had reported that she had been beaten by her husband and that either she wanted to die or possibly her husband should die. He told the police, it's not serious, just give her a phone call. So when I put that in the proper context, many jurors saw that the police department escalated this and they manufactured this for good television, the Cops TV show. All right, Brian, I'm out of time, but third trial coming up. I know you're going to be her attorney. Will she take the stand in the third trial?
Again, we don't know whether she'll take the stand, but rest assured, we're going to be ready to go, and third time's going to be the charm, and we're going to get her freedom back in this third trial.
We'll be following it. Brian Claypool, thank you.